This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
This is WWE NXT Superstar Lexis King.
And you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
And you're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Long live Lexis King.
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about? I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 24 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah. And today we are going to talk to you about a big episode of Friday Night Smackdown 329-24. We are going to cover some AEW Rampage 329-24, and we are going to end it all with AEW Saturday Night Collision 330-24. Let us talk to you. We're going to start right off with Smackdown now. WWE Friday Night Smackdown 329-24 live from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. Mike, this is about an hour away from where we live. And before we start, I am just going to say the last episode of SmackDown I attended, I was with my son, and it was at Mohegan Sun Arena, and we got to see the late Bray Wyatt at some point last year, right on his return, right when he came back after Extreme Rules, and had this run. We got to see him there. I think it was after Extreme Rules 2022. Rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. Documentary came out today. It is unbelievable.
Can't wait to watch it myself.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It'll answer a lot of questions for everybody out there. But for panning off to Friday Night SmackDown, we kick off with highlights of the massive segment between the Final Boss attacking Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, on Raw. And then we cut to the arena, and out comes Randy Orton for the first match of the night. It is a tag team match stemming from last week. Oh, yeah, great start. Stemming from last week, it is Team RKO, as I like to call them, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, versus the team of Pretty Deadly. And you would think that Pretty Deadly is just going to get their asses handed to them here. I would say that's pretty much where we're at. And for the most part, that does happen. Lots of offense from Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Randy's out there making everything look smooth. Yeah, they're having fun. As only the Viper could do. Everything's looking real smooth in the ring, the mechanics, you name it. And we're at the, over the halfway point in this match now. And there's, some distractions going on outside. The ref's eyes are turned. And out comes Logan Paul. Now, this is where things get interesting. Logan Paul.
Always interesting with Logan Paul.
United States champion, the Maverick. Logan Paul comes out with his famous brass knuckles and hits a knockout punch. Was it on Randy or was it? Oh, no, it was actually on KO. He hits that knockout punch on Kevin Owens. Pretty Deadly steals the victory, which you thought you would never see ever, and that definitely got them some heat. Then after, it's notable that after Logan did this, he hid under the ring. He didn't leave the arena, which he probably should have. Randy gets in the ring and he doesn't realize what happened. He's kind of mad at KO, like, dude, what the hell? How did we just lose to Pretty Deadly? And Kevin's like pointing to the Titantron, and they run it back, and Randy then sees KO getting hit with the brass knucks to take that loss. And Randy's like, okay, we're good, Kevin Owens. We're not going to fight now. We're going to fight at WrestleMania, but we're not going to fight now. They have no choice but to then. Then Randy Orton hops out of the ring and he's asking the crowd, is this where Logan Paul's at? And he lifts the curtain, if you will, up from under the ring, the apron, rather.
There he
and
is.
There is Logan Paul, scared for his life, wants his mommy. Randy Orton pulls him from underneath the ring and hits him, with multiple, of these big strikes and slams him onto the barricade. He then places Logan Paul onto the announce table, but Pretty Deadly ruin this and attack Randy from behind. They throw him back in the ring. They're all in the ring now, minus Logan. And they get him in the ring, and Owens hits Prince with a Stone Cold Stunner. Orton hits Kit Wilson with an RKO, and
I was kind of disappointed at
I
this
know.
moment.
Should have been Logan.
Because I wanted to see the stunner into the RKO.
Yeah, that super
like
move
we
that
saw,
they had.
I think
Yes.
the week before, the week
didn't
before
happen,
that, but
unfortunately.
they didn't,
Yeah, it did not happen. Now they're chasing Logan Paul backstage. They're not done with him. They just cost him a match with Pretty Deadly, which is laughable. And they're chasing him to the back, and Logan Paul just so happens to run right into the parking lot, and he gets into his car, drives off. That is the end of that opening segment. After commercial, we now have a pre-recorded video of Io Sky cutting a promo, talking about Bailey.
Now, can I just side note right now?
Go for it.
I'm noticing with TKO a trend. The promos are better.
They are better.
There's more promos.
They are better.
I feel like there's more promos per show
There's
now.
definitely
They're
more.
more cinematic. They're more professionally done.
definitely are.
It kind of feels a little bit more like a
It's
UFC
like
promo.
Yeah, or even like a movie,
Yeah.
dare I say. So we get this pre-recorded video of Io Sky. She's cutting a promo. She says Bailey loves to play the victim, but her hypocrisy is disgusting to her. She knows Bailey played a role in being champion, and she's saying she made Bailey relevant, which is false information. It's fake news, folks, fake news. Her and Dakota felt obligated to keep her around, and they outgrew her. Io says there was a time where Bailey was her friend, and that she will regret this for the rest of her life, and she hopes that after WrestleMania, she'll never have to see her again. And in the middle of this, out comes Bailey from behind. She attacks her and hits her with lighting equipment. They both fight. It's a big brawl on set, and people are trying to break this up now. And after that, SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis, he is in the ring holding a contract. He says that they have a monumental, huge piece of business to conduct, but before that, he asks who's ready for WrestleMania. Everyone's popping. Aldis says when he became SmackDown GM, he wanted to make this show the #1 wrestling show, and that he believes that the acquisition of this following superstar takes him a giant step forward to that goal. And here we go, guys. He then introduces the newest member of the SmackDown roster. The Storm has arrived. It is Jade Cargill.
What
Finally.
an entrance.
Oh my God. Cinematic entrance.
It's kind of got a similar entrance to The Rock a little bit with
Yeah,
it being dark.
a little bit. Yeah, there was lots of
lightning-ish, I guess,
lightning,
yeah.
I guess, going on. Because the storm is coming. That's the whole thing. The storm is coming. There's lots of smoke, and she comes out to a great
Heard that.
reception. Very, very, very good job they did with this. She comes down to the ring. She's signing autographs for fans as she's walking down. She's already a big star. Hasn't even had her first match besides the Royal Rumble, and I wouldn't consider that a singles match. The fans cheer her on, and she's in the middle of the ring flexing with the spotlight on her. She signs the contract.
It was honestly, it was open shut. It wasn't.
I'm here to
long,
sign
yeah,
this, and that's it.
She said the women's division's on notice. The Storm's here. And,
Yep. That's exactly what she said. She goes, "Let me give you another weather update. The storm has arrived." Her music hits. She does one more big flex, and now we're backstage with Kayla Braxton. She's with Damage Control now. Dakota is asking what Jade has done, except stand there, and Bailey will be embarrassed at WrestleMania. But the best part of SmackDown tonight, they're saying, is will be when she beats Bianca later tonight. She says Bianca got into their business. This is her fault. She went through 2 years of Damage Control beatdowns, and if she was the smartest, she would have not gotten involved in their business.
Yeah.
That speaks for itself. And then we have Nick Aldis walking around backstage, and he bumps into Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. They try to pitch some kind of creative story, some kind of creative pitch to him, and in comes AJ Styles, who is looking like a mess. He's stressed out. He's looking over his shoulder. He asks Nick Aldis if LA Knight's going to be at the show. Nick Aldis then responds he's politely asked LA Knight not to be at the show, and AJ doesn't like that. He should have told him. He says Nick Aldis should have told him that he cannot be here because if you ask him, he's not going to listen. Is what he's getting at. And we
Why
wonder,
is AJ so afraid?
He's afraid of LA Knight.
I don't get it. He was the one that was
He
the
started
aggressor.
all this,
He was.
yeah.
I don't understand why all of a sudden it's turned that way.
Right.
But
He
I
flew
like it
all the-
because
I like
I'm an
it
LA
too.
Knight fan.
Yeah,
so.
no, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
He flew all the way to Perth just to screw him. You know what I mean?
And now he's afraid of him?
And now he's afraid of him. Well, because look what he's awoken. In this version of LA Knight that we're getting right now is a wild animal. You know, he went to his house, man. He went to his house, beat him up in front of his wife.
That was very great, that whole house thing.
It was great. Really was a callback to nostalgic Attitude Era times. Loved it.
McMahon days.
Absolutely.
I hate to say it.
Yeah, I hate to
Don't
say
know
it.
if I can say it.
I know.
But
this is the source. We can say whatever we want.
There was a lot of good, weird, personal promos back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
and it's coming back around, and I am here for it. After that, up next, we have a WrestleMania 40 qualifying match. The tag teams. It is the Street Profits versus this new team of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and they're wearing matching gear now, and they're really trying to make them a team. So we'll see what happens. And it was a back and forth match. Both teams looking good. I think they're pushing Theory and Waller because both those guys know how to work in the ring. I think that's got to be the only reason why, because they're good workers, they're safe workers, and they do get a reaction from the crowd. It ends up going another direction for the Street Profits, where Montez goes for that signature frog splash off of the top rope. Theory then gets the knees up, knocks the wind out of him, and he rolls forward up and gets the pin clean. 1, 2, 3. Your winners in going to WrestleMania are the team of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They're calling them.
Although it wasn't really clean because the whole interference from.
It was the AOP.
Yeah.
They had a name for this team, and I can't remember. It's A-Town Down Under or something like that.
Yeah, it's A-Town Down. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
A-Town Down.
So, they're trying to, make that work. Although I've seen rumors that they're trying to take him out of the match and throw in the Dudley Boys. That's what I'm seeing this week. I don't know how true they are.
It's like, okay, but what about the Hardys?
Yeah, what about them?
What happened to that?
I mean, I love both teams. Yeah, but what happened to that?
I don't know. I think this is what you do. I'm going to side note it. We're going to do some sports talk right now, okay? Here's the deal, okay? You're rumoring the Hardys are coming back. Now you're rumoring that the Dudley brothers are coming back. Why would they enter the six-pack talents for the championship? How about we do a Dudley Boys versus Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy remix?
Another TLC
that
match
would be
or something.
Cool.
Yeah, but this guy's kind of too old to be doing that.
I don't know. Jeff was just doing all kinds of stuff in AEW.
I know he was, and he shouldn't have been. Needless to say, AOP attack did happen. Street Profits after the match, and out comes Karrion Kross. The whole Final Testament, and it's just a big attack. They're holding Lashley down, and Kross hits him from behind. He yells at Lashley, telling him now no one's going to WrestleMania. None of us. So that's the end of that, unfortunately. And we see a clip now up next of last week's match between Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar with Dominic Mysterio interfering, and out come Legado del Fantasma. We have a commercial break, and Santos is saying, I hate to be that guy, but I told you so. He says not to forget that he put Rey Mysterio on the shelf for quite some time, and he knows he didn't get the amputation that he wanted, but he got the next best thing. He says he got to beat Rey in the center of the ring last week. He says Rey's the greatest luchador of all time, or at least he was. He says he outsmarted Rey Mysterio, and all it took was one single phone call to a man that despises him just like he does. And whose music hits, Mike? It is Dom. It is Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Which I don't understand because he's in the Judgment Day, so what's he doing with Phantasma?
I know, I don't understand that either.
And it looks like, actually, we're going to find out later on, but it looks like the Judgment Day might have been a bit disturbed by it themselves. So.
Right. And Dom gets in the ring, shakes their hands. He's getting booed. Santos tells the crowd to just shut their mouths. He thanks Dominic for what he did and says he wants to apologize. He knows they didn't see eye to eye first, back then, but Dominic was right. And Dominic is about to speak, and there's loud boos from the crowd. He's unable to speak. He says he tries to say he will do everything in his power to make sure that his deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio's life is a living hell. And out comes Rey Mysterio now with the LWO, and everyone's standing in the ring. You know, they're all facing off with each other, and Rey tells Dom it's a shame. You know, he truly believed that he was done fighting him. And Rey says that now that Santos has dragged him into this and Dom wants to be a part of it, then he came to the realization that the moment of them having both of them in front of him is truly a divine intervention. And Rey says he now has the opportunity to beat some respect into his son and also Santos Escobar. And he challenges Santos Escobar and Dominic against himself and a partner of his choosing in a tag team match at WrestleMania. You know, Dom's like, okay, which one of these losers is going to be the one? And Rey Mysterio then follows up, but it's going to be the newest member of LWO. He then introduces Dragon Lee as the newest member of the LWO.
With his LWO shirt on?
Yep, he's got the gear. He's ready to go. Hope they do something with Dragon Lee.
I'm just going to give this whole segment 2 enthusiastic thumbs down.
Yeah, not
Don't
a
care
fan.
about this at all.
Do not.
The LWO has run its course, in my opinion.
It has.
Phantasma.
They're beating a dead horse with the LWO.
The Phantasma just needs to link up with Judgment Day, make it a super faction, add Andrade, and call it a day. LWO, it's like a cheerleading squad at this point.
It really is. It really is.
When's the last time we've seen Selena Vega in action?
It's been a while.
You know, the tag team guys.
Angel and Berto, they're putting them in stuff here and there.
Angel and Berto, they're on Phantasma.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay. See, I don't even know. I don't even know, guys.
What are you going to do with them? Keep them in NXT. Keep the LWO tag team in NXT.
I'm not interested.
Like, we're forcing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's being shoved down our throats.
Yeah. Ray's getting injured. He's old.
Yep.
He can't carry a faction right now.
I don't.
Get rid of those and let the what's the
AOP, Authors of Pain, Final Testament.
The Final Testament.
Yeah, let them have
they
that.
Will grow bigger without
100%. 100%. This, like I said to you when this happened, this is like pre-show material for WrestleMania. This doesn't belong on the card, in my opinion. Needless to say, there's a big fight in the middle of the ring. Everyone's going at it, and we cut to backstage, and it's Naomi with Bianca Belair. She tells Bianca that she has her back, just like Bianca had hers. Bianca tells her if there's a time to take down Damage Control, it is right now. Naomi tells her they will get that started tonight, and we go to commercial. Come back from commercial, and now it's the Judgment Day, and here's a little follow-up on that. The Judgment Day is backstage, and Rhea says she did not know Dominic was going to be out there. In comes Dom himself, and he tells them that he wanted to make them proud, you know? He wanted to handle business. That's his reasoning for doing this. And Finn asked Dominic if there's anything else he needs to tell them. Like, you know, has he been hanging out with Legado del Fantasma? Is he planning on joining them? Dominic then cuts that off and says he needs a doctor, and JD says he will take him. Damian Priest says this WrestleMania is too important for them as a group. You know, Rhea asked Damian Priest if there's something that he needs to tell her, and Finn says the only way that WrestleMania, the only thing is that WrestleMania will belong to the Judgment Day. And up next, we have another WrestleMania 40 tag team qualifier. It is the New Catch Republic versus Angel and Humberto. Yes, those guys that I just messed up on a couple minutes ago. And not sure if I care about either of these teams right now. New Catch Republic just had their chance at the Chamber. They lost the title match to the Judgment Day, and it just feels like the Phantasma guys are just an afterthought here. Your winners of this match are the New Catch Republic with the double Tyler Driver, and Pete Dunne
Tyler Driver.
Yes, and Pete Dunne gets the cover to win by pinfall. And now we're seeing clips again of the main event from Raw and the attack on Cody Rhodes by the final boss, The Rock. And Paul Heyman is now backstage, and he says, by order of the Tribal Chief, the final boss took out Cody Rhodes by the order of the Tribal Chief. And Jimmy says, and by the orders of the Tribal Chief, Jay won't make it to WrestleMania. And Solo tells Jay that he will see him next week by order of the Tribal Chief. So that's all brewing now. and now it's AJ Styles. He's still a worried mess. He's stressed out. He says it's been a little over a week. He says the fans are the reason that LA Knight went to his house and assaulted him in front of his wife, his family. He should not have had him rot in jail and miss it. He's saying he should have had him rot in jail and miss his first WrestleMania, but he's got bigger plans for LA Knight. He says he will expose him for the overachieving, under-talented piece of trash that he is, and those are some strong words coming from AJ Styles.
Oh, absolutely.
My God.
Too bad he can't back it up.
Oh, nah. He guarantees that LA Knight is there. He knows that he's there somewhere. You know, he's terrified. He's looking up the ramp. He's looking in the crowd. He's wondering if he'll come down the aisle. He calls LA Knight out to the ring to no answer. AJ says he could be up in the arena. He could be the cameraman for all he knows.
It's just weird for me
He's
to
paranoid.
see him all scared like this.
He's scared.
The hell is this right now?
I know.
He came back
He's
into
not
the
the phenomenal
WWE.
AJ Styles.
He was basically not even talking to anybody, just
Right.
grunting.
Yep.
He's a machine.
Miserable.
And now all of a sudden he's a shaking little leaf. Get out of here. What's with this writing these days?
I know,
Come on.
and he's bigger than he's ever been physically. Like, he's really bulked up. Anyway, he's terrified of the thought of LA Knight being there.
It really is.
You know, the fans are chanting LA Knight, and a man in a hoodie jumps the rail and security stops him. AJ rips the hoodie off, and it's not LA Knight. So there's a curveball. AJ tells him, nah. He tells security to get him the hell out of here. AJ asks if they're done with the games. He says he will be not playing any games at WrestleMania. And here we go. The cameraman now pans to the side, and we see LA Knight wearing a wig, a hat, and glasses, dressed up as security, standing right next to the announce table. And it begins. LA Knight stomps AJ Styles. He grabs him. They just move this fight right into the ring. He stomps him in the corner. LA Knight runs to the outside and grabs a chair. He swings it at AJ, the old trusty chair he's been traveling with. AJ, unfortunately, rolls outside and jumps the rail. LA Knight now stands on the announce table. He's telling AJ to run, hide, and do anything he needs to, but at WrestleMania, he will not ask or tell him. He will know whose game this is. What everybody's saying, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Yeah, can't wait for that match for sure. The road to WrestleMania is upon us, folks. We are almost there. Hoping for an LA Knight victory at WrestleMania. It will be the biggest thing he's done so far. Now we have a video, which I thought was awesome. I don't know if you guys caught this. It was a video package with Tiffany Stratton. And she was just really, really coming into character with this Barbie type.
She looked good.
Oh, my God. She even said it. She vows to always look hot and to always kick some ass. And she goes, carrying around the burden of perfection is not as easy as she makes it look. I am ready for a solid Tiffany Stratton run in the WWE, that's for sure. That Ludwig Kaiser is a lucky guy. Let's just say that. Now it is main event time. The main event of the evening. It is Bianca Belair, the EST versus Dakota Kai, who I love, but up against Bianca Belair. You know, I'm always going to root for Bianca. This match was dope. Kai is looking good since her return. You know, she looks mobile. She's got the brace on still, but everything's looking really, really good. At a later point in this match, Dakota goes for a scorpion kick. Bianca moves, and she goes for that KOD kiss of death, but Bianca lands out on the ring apron. She then goes for a kick onto Bianca, but Bianca moves and Dakota kicks the ring post. Bianca Belair then climbs the second rope and she pulls Dakota up and hits her with a suplex into the ring, followed by a massive spear by Belair. And she lifts Dakota up for the KOD. 1, 2, 3. We get a little bit of retribution here for the EST. It's Bianca Belair taking the match home for the win. Then out come the Kabuki Warriors, and this is where things got really interesting. They run down and attack Bianca. Out comes Naomi to the ring. She knocks Kairi Sane down and hits Asuka with a right hand. Kairi is now hitting Naomi from behind with a baseball bat, which was pretty Sting-esque. Bianca gets up, but Dakota Kai, she just hits Bianca from behind. Damage Control continue to attack Bianca and Naomi, and you're kind of waiting for this.
Yeah.
You're kind of waiting.
Like, is it gonna be Bayley?
Right.
Or
Is it going to be?
Is it going to be
is
Jade
it gonna
Cargill?
be
'Cause that's what
Jade
I was
Cargill?
thinking, 'cause I knew both,
we had
but I
this
was
talk weeks ago.
leaning towards Cargill,
Same.
honestly.
And we had this talk weeks ago on the show. For y'all that listen, we kind of called this. Next thing you know, Jade Cargill's music hits, and she walks down to the ring. She gets in the ring and kicks Asuka down. She lifts up Dakota Kai, hits her with a power bomb. She hits Kairi Sane as well with this face-first mat slam, and just kind of just like sprawls out over her like, clickety-clack, the bad bitch is back. Damage control roll to the outside with Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca standing in the ring, and SmackDown goes off air. And we later found out that this is going to be an actual WrestleMania match, guys. It is going to be the remaining members. They did announce this. Oh. It is going to be Damage Control remaining members, outside of Io Sky. Versus Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. And that is going to be a pretty interesting event, I will say. All in all, a pretty good episode of SmackDown to follow up an amazing episode of Monday Night Raw last week. This is going to end the Friday Night SmackDown portion of the show. We really appreciate you guys listening and sticking with us. We are going to transition now.
We had a lot of answers.
Yeah, we did get a lot of answers.
Finally got some Jade Cargill. We've been talking about it forever.
It feels like we're beating a dead horse every week.
And it looks like my prediction's going to be wrong. You didn't hear it first. You didn't hear it first here on the source. I said that Jade Cargill's first matchup was going to be Nia Jax.
Yeah, and that would have been an amazing first matchup.
They got to be saving
They're saving that, for bigger storylines to come. And now we are going to transition into AEW Rampage from the same Friday night, 3/29/24. Let me talk to you. AEW Rampage starts off. It is the Natural, Dustin Rhodes, going up against the Butcher, which I thought was a great match to start off the show with. You had a living legend in Dustin Rhodes versus an up and comer, the Butcher. They had a great match, very complimentary for both parties. Dustin then executes a snap power slam and finishes off the Butcher with a crossroads. And in his finishing move, they call it the Final Testament as well. I don't know if that's a coincidence.
I love seeing the Butcher fight.
Yeah, man. The Butcher is, it's cool that he's been back. It has been a while since we saw the Butcher, and we love to have him back. At Andy Complains from Every Time I Die, thank you for being the Butcher and looking terrifying as hell. Mm-hmm. Next
Almost
up,
as terrifying as he did on stage.
Oh my God, I know.
Jeez.
He's a freak, that guy.
I used to see him live and be like, holy crap, he's
pretty
big. Like live,
pretty
it
impressive.
was different seeing him right in front of you and stuff.
Absolutely. Pretty impressive. Up next, we have Jay White and the Ass Boys. They arrive for family dinner at Daddy Ass's house. Yeah. Daddy Ass is not home, obviously, at this time. They trash the house while wondering where Daddy Ass is. Jay White then talks trash about the Acclaimed, and Bullet Club Gold threatens to take the AEW World Trios titles from them. And just as Jay is about to break some stuff with a baseball bat, guess who came home? Knock, knock, it's Daddy Ass.
Oh, boy.
The camera is literally dropped on the ground as Billy Gunn chases them away, and we quickly go to a commercial before we can see what happens next. So they tried. They really tried. His own sons broke into his house, which switchwayed Jay White, and, got caught by the man himself, Billy Gunn, and chased him out of the house. So that's all we know on that. Deonna Purrazzo up next. Second match of the night versus Rose, which is another AEW jobber. Still going with the jobbers here. It's not in, it's a very clear picture that they want Deonna Purrazzo to look strong. She finishes Rose off in a submission, the Venus de Milo or whatever they want to call it. Your winner via submission is Deonna Purrazzo. And up next is a quick video package hyping up Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, at Dynasty. And they also announced that Will Ospreay will take on Powerhouse Hobbs next Wednesday on Dynamite in a battle of the Wills. Will Hobbs, Will Ospreay, that should be a match. Two completely different styles and sizes. That's going to be interesting to see. Now, it's Timeless Toni Storm, our women's champion, and Mariah May. They're making their way to the ring. Storm gets on the mic and says that she has devastating news to all of her fans. She injured her hamstring, she says, and cannot compete. But her very capable protege, Mariah May, will take her place. And that leads us right to the next match. It is Mariah May, Toni Storm 2.0 versus Nikita, another jobber who's making her AEW debut. And this jobber actually put up a fight against Mariah May. It wasn't a 2-second squash match. I was actually kind of impressed with her. Maybe they bring her back. We'll see. It ended up being Mariah May taking this win. At the end, she made it look easy. She hits the headbutt, hits her finisher, the Mayday, and now she has a 6-0 record here in AEW, and she's becoming a juggernaut in this women's division, as Tony Schiavone says, and I like what they're doing with her for sure. Go Mariah May. We then pan backstage. It is Zach Knight, Saraya's brother. He's being interviewed. He says he's in Angelo Parker's head now, all the beef they've had over the last few weeks, with him and Ruby and Saraya. Parker then ambushes him and a brawl breaks out. Zach Knight tries to hit him with a steel pipe. Parker takes it away and runs him off. He's gone now. Ruby Soho shows up and she's acting like she's upset with Angelo for going back on his word, and looking for this fight here. She then starts making out with him and says she can't be here for this, and she walks away. So they're continuing with this love angle, and that's where we're at with it right now. Then we get a pre-taped promo from the Righteous. It is Vincent and Lance Archer before the commentators hype up their trios match, for the Collision episode that we're about to cover after this. Next match of the night, it is AEW International Champion Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom versus Daddy Magic, and this is an eliminator match. So there's a decent amount at stake here for sure. The match was back and forth. Both guys really got their offense in. That is for sure. Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, and, they're distracting, but it backfires as Daddy Magic is, he was ready for Strong's knee strike, and he dodged out of the way. But with the next distraction, that does the trick. Daddy Magic is flailing away at Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and it turns around into the rising knee strike from the champ. 1, 2, 3, your winner is Roddy Strong. That is the end of this match, and the Undisputed Kingdom continue to attack Daddy Magic after the bell, and they bring a chair into the ring and chase the referee away. Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy, the best friends-ish, run out. They make the save with a spear and an orange punch. The heels then run away to the backstage area. Best friends go in for a hug in the middle of the ring, but just as they do that, it's the EVPs. It is the Young Bucks. They slip in to greet them with low blows. These guys are looking for heat, that is for sure. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson lay out the best friends with double EVP triggers as Rampage goes off the air. That is going to end this episode of AEW Rampage. Thank you for sticking with us on this as we transition into the final show of today. It is AEW Collision 3/30/24.
Yeah.
We have AEW Collision this week live from the Budweiser Gardens in London, Ontario, Canada, the home of Adam Copeland, the home country at least, and he is the first one out.
Only right.
Yeah, of course. Match number 1 of the night. It is the newest edition of the TNT Championship Cope Open. Okay, now
he's doing that again.
Yeah, he's doing that again. Edge comes out, grabs a mic, thanking everybody for being there, and saying that, as a fighting champion and as the man that he is, he's going back to the Cope Open, and it starts right now for the TNT Championship. So he's asking if anybody has the balls to answer this challenge, and out comes somebody we could have never expected. I marked out for this. I popped. It was the Deathmatch King, Matt Cardona, answering the call, who is not an AEW contracted talent. Was really cool to have him there. He comes out to a massive reception. For those of you that don't know, Matt Cardona was one of the Edge heads in WWE who came in with Edge, and he was also Long Island Ice Z, Zack Ryder. the internet champion, if you will. They had a fantastic match, guys. Copeland and Cardona really tore this thing down. Cardona had his shining moments where he hit the Impaler on Edge. He used his own move, and I feel like that's what kind of killed him. He, instead of just being himself, he kept trying to hark back to the old days and do all Edge's stuff, and it ended up costing him the match. Cardona wants the spear. But, this is after hitting his finisher, too, the Rough Rider, which Copeland was able to kick out of. He wants the spear. He wants to spear Edge right from the corner, just like Edge does. And Edge counters the spear, hits one of his own. 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still AEW TNT champion. It's Adam Copeland. I really enjoyed this match. It was really, really cool to see Matt Cardona out there because he's the indie god right now, the Deathmatch King. He is just doing it on his own, and this match, you could tell it meant a lot to Matt Cardona as much as it did Adam Copeland.
Good start for the broadcast, I'd say.
Absolutely, yeah, really got the blood boiling. And after the match, though, I keep saying Edge. I cannot get used to this. Adam Copeland, Cope, is celebrating his title defense, and the lights go out of nowhere. Who else but Malachi Black appears, and he is in the ring, and he's basically calling Edge. See, there it is again. He's calling Copeland.
I'm calling
out.
him Edge.
You know what I mean?
I don't
Might
care.
as well. He's calling.
I'm not going to get any copyright trouble from saying it.
You know what I mean? He's calling out Adam Copeland, basically saying, hey, I want my shot at that title next. And here comes Buddy Matthews from behind. He goes to attack, and as soon as he does that, it's Mark Briscoe. He comes out to the ring looking like the crazy crackhead, as always, and Mark gets kicked in the face and a pop-up knee to the jaw. Numbers game now, but here's Eddie Kingston now to make the save. The lights go out, and Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe are left alone in the ring, and the fans are chanting for Eddie Kingston. Backstage now, it's your guys, Mike. It's the top guys, the living legends. No flips, just fists. It's the FTR. They are with Lexi Nair. Lexi says they're the favorites to win this tournament, but Cash actually disagrees. He says they don't want to get ahead of themselves. It's time to focus, on the tag team at hand.
Time to focus, man.
Absolutely. Them top guys, they can get it done. It's now Tony Schiavone, and he welcomes out the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass to the ring. And Daddy Ass is in a foul mood after what just happened with this home invasion. Daddy Ass can't get past what Jay White and company did, breaking into his home, his own sons. He's reminding Switchblade Jay White that he lost in Madison Square Garden, and he will lose next week when it's Jay White versus Billy Gunn. That's going to be a hell of a match to see those two go at it. Max Caster tells the Ass Boys to let them fight them one-on-one. No distractions. Bowen says Mrs. Gunn would have slapped the pubes off of their faces, and he really meant that. He says the demise of Bullet Club Gold begins next week, and that brings us into the second match of the night. It is the Tag Team Championship Tournament match. It is FTR, the Living Legends, versus the Infantry, and this was a hell of a match. Both teams really put up a really, really, really tough fight here. At the end of the day, we all know what we wanted to see. A meeting of the minds happens in the ring between Cash and Dax, and Dean rolls up Dax for a 2 count. Cash slides in the ring and dumps Bravo. Big rig. 1, 2, 3. Your winners are FTR, and they are moving on now. They are moving on this tournament, and we love to see it. We really do. Lexi Nair is now with Big Bill and Ricky Starks, the former tag team champions of AEW. They say they're not looking past Top Flight tonight, and they respect their skills, but they're going into this as the number 1 seed is what they're saying. After a commercial break, it's Adam Copeland. He's fired up in the back over the House of Black, that whole attack. Copeland says he's got friends, too, and he wants the House of Black at Dynasty in a 6-man match, which I think would be pretty dope. Mark Briscoe says he's got some business to handle himself with Eddie Kingston first at Supercard of Honor, the ROH event coming up. And Eddie agrees. Eddie says House of Black do spooky stuff, but at Dynasty they'll be spitting up teeth. So that is a hell of a threat from the Mad King, Eddie Kingston, which leads us to match number 3 of the night. It is the returning Kyle O'Reilly versus JD Drake. They want to make Kyle look strong here, even against this JD Drake, who was a big guy. I've never seen him before. He put up a hell of a fight, but we had an axe and smash by Kyle. PK gets 2, but Kyle dives on an arm bar, and Drake just taps right out. Your winner of this match is Kyle O'Reilly. Now we have the Undisputed Kingdom coming out to the ring, and they're helping Kyle celebrate. They keep trying to recruit him for the Undisputed Kingdom, and so far it just hasn't worked. Match number 4 of the night, it is AEW Tag Team Tournament match. Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus Top Flight, Darius Martin and company. Very good match from Darius and Dante, also from Big Bill as well. This match actually goes how you don't expect it to. Starks is hurt as the doctor slides in the ring, and that was something to keep an eye on. He did later say that he was okay and it was just precautionary. But the doctor slides in and seems to be the reason why he couldn't kick out of this pin earlier when he was pinned by the Top Flight boys. So Top Flight is moving on. We don't know if that's part of the story or not, but like I said, it was confirmed by Ricky Starks himself later that he was actually okay. We then have a backstage segment from the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, TNA legend. He is here, and he's challenging Malachi Black for a match at next week's Rampage, which will be very, very interesting to see. Right, absolutely. Two different styles, a legend of the past and someone of the present. You got to love it. They're really trying to beef up Rampage right now because, you got to compete to stay alive. That's all I can say about that. That's all The Rock's got to say about that. Match number 5 of the night. I'm going off on this one. It's Thunder Rosa versus Lady Frost. 2 pretty good women's talents here. We had a chiller driller by Frost. 2 count was close. Rosa looked for that Tijuana bomb, but she was able to, Lady Frost rather, was able to get out of it with a scorpion kick. Frost then misses a corkscrew kick, and Thunder Rosa hits the backstabber into the Tijuana bomb, gets the win here. Thunder Rosa with another win in a highly competitive match between the two, and the styles clashed really, really well together. Thunder Rosa is still on a run since returning. Seems like she might be on her way back to a title. And now we're backstage, and it's Timeless Toni Storm. She is with Luther, Mariah May, and Renee Paquette. Thunder Rosa will be wrestling Mariah May, and the winner will be the number 1 contender for Tony's championship. And Storm kisses May on the lips and calls her a magnificent bastard. Toni Storm is just chains off. She doesn't care. Tits are out. She's making out with Mariah May on TV. Keep her on TV. Boy. Oh, yeah. Definitely got to go back and watch that if you haven't.
I did not get to catch that. That's why I rely on you for, Joe.
Absolutely, and that's why I am here. So, yeah, go back and watch that, maybe when you're alone and lonely. After that, she, Toni Storm loves this idea. She goes, she makes them both say together, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. Now, that leads us to our main event of the evening. It is Lance Archer and the Righteous versus the BCC members, Katsuyori Shibata, Daniel Bryan, and Claudio Castagnoli.
The juggernauts.
Absolutely.
Of the AEW.
Mega trios match for the main event here, and we saw it all here. They really left it all out in the ring. I thought it was a fantastic match for the both of them. Later on, it ends with a half and half suplex to Shibata, and he transitions to an armbar, but Dutch breaks it up. Another knee by Dutch, two Dutch by Bryan Danielson. Vincent and Shibata are left in the ring now. Rear naked choke to Vincent and a big boot by Shibata. A PK by Shibata to Vincent, and Claudio flattens Archer on the outside. It is 1, 2, 3. Your winners of this trio match. It is Katsuyori Shibata and the BCC. This match absolutely delivered. Go back and watch it, guys. Really, really quality trios action. Didn't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because I'd be sitting here all night. You go back and you be the judge. Once again, your winners, Katsuyori Shibata and the Blackpool Combat Club. And this is going to end this portion of AEW Collision. That portion of the show has now come and gone. And before we go, we are going to give you something that we always give you before we leave this house. And it is a little bit of On This Day in Wrestling History.
On this day in wrestling history, we have our notable wrestling birthdays per usual. First one is Madman Fulton, born in 1990.
Madman Fulton's around my age, I guess. Whoever you are, happy birthday, Madman.
We have Jack Evans, 1982. And we have Jody Fleisch, 1980. Not really too familiar with these ones, but we're going to wish them a happy birthday. It's wrestling. It has to do with wrestling. So, yeah.
Happy birthday to all three of you guys. And on this day in wrestling history, the year I was born, 1989, WrestleMania 5 takes place in front of 18,946 fans with 767,000 watching on pay-per-view at the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was the second year in a row WrestleMania was held at the Trump Plaza, and the crowd was quiet for a lot of the matches, but more than made up for it during the main event. On this show, we had Hercules defeating Haku, the Twin Towers defeating the Rockers, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and Ted DiBiase fought to a double countout. We had Mr. Perfect defeating the Blue Blazer, Owen Hart, with a perfect plex. Rest in peace to him. The main event of the evening was Hulk Hogan defeating Randy Savage to win the WWF Championship. The match ended via pinfall when Savage hit Hogan with his elbow drop from the top rope, but Hogan kicked out, hulked up, and you know what comes next, guys. The big boot, the leg drop, 1, 2, 3. It was Hulk Hogan. And with this win, Hogan became the first man to win the WWF title more than once since Bruno Sammartino in 1973, and would hold it for a day shy of a full year before dropping the title to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6.
Oh, wow. And on this day in wrestling history, in 2007 on Monday Night Raw,
let's go.
Tag team champions John Cena and Shawn Michaels retained the belts in a straightaway win. But then another tag team battle royal went down right after that, it says.
Okay.
And then this time, Shawn Michaels actually turned on John Cena, eliminated him.
Oh, wow. I don't remember this.
Meaning that, if he eliminates his partner, they're both out of the battle royal.
Right,
and, it was eventually won by none other than Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Oh, no way. The Hardy Boys, who we were just talking about. And on this day in wrestling history, we had WrestleMania 2000. In the year 2000, of course, was held in Arrowhead Pond, Anaheim, California, in front of 19,776 fans. The main event for this WrestleMania was definitely different. It was a fatal four-way no DQ elimination match featuring WWF champion at the time Triple H, The Rock, Mick Foley, and The Big Show. All four wrestlers were in the ring at the same time and could only be eliminated by pinfall or submission. The winner of this match ended up being Triple H. He lasted and he pinned The Rock to retain the WWF Championship on this day in wrestling history.
Very nice. On this day in wrestling history in 1995 in Tokyo, Japan, Bridge of Dreams, Dome Spring Full Bloom was held. On the show, the team of Terry Funk, aka Leatherface, and Shohei Nakamaki defeated Cactus Jack and Headhunter A and Headhunter B.
Oh, okay.
In a deep breath. Well, it says in a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Yep.
Barbed wire, board and barbed wire baseball bat bunkhouse tag death match.
Oh, wow. Terry Funk probably created that one.
So
sounds
that's notable. It's
right
a
up
match
his
I've
alley.
never heard before,
Absolutely. And to end it, guys, on this day in wrestling history, this is on a more somber note. The year 2010, former WCW United States and television champion Chris Kanyon, a.k.a. Mortis, was found dead after committing suicide at the age of 40. And, very unfortunate. The guy really had a lot of good things going for him in WCW and brought a style that nobody had really seen. It was like the independent style that we see now, and he had a couple of really good runs as Chris Kanyon and as well Mortis, which was great. And on this day in wrestling history, Chris Kanyon removed himself from the world, and we wish his family the best. And that is going to end this episode of The Source. We appreciate you guys listening. As always, please follow the show. It really helps a lot. Takes next to no effort at all to do. Please rate the show after you listen to an episode. Really helps the show a lot. The Source Wrestling Podcast is available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, everything. OnlyFans. Just you got to pay Mike for that. Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram.
Right to the bank.
Right to the bank, baby. Money in the bank, yeah. And also follow us on TikTok. And we'll talk to you next time on The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah. And next time, we'll talk to you. Yeah.